Yo, so I know I've been out of the game for a while. I've been in school and shit. I've been studying, but yeah, I'm back now for the summer. I'm gonna try to be more consistent. I think, hopefully, I guess. Anyways, today I'm gonna talk about assembly, bro. Assembly programming language, but not exactly the programming language. Well, it is, but like with microcontrollers, bro. I was literally in school, right? This past semester, I was working with the MSP 430, and we had to code that shit in assembly, as you can see right here. And oh my god, bro! Oh, assembly, it's so it is such a tedious language, bro. Like, look at this shit I'm looking at right now, bro. All this, I think this, if I remember clearly, this is to set up an LED. I don't even think I needed this, bro. This is for UART. This is all for UART. Believe this project was, yeah, this project was to type, like we type on our computers and it communicates with the MSP through UART and it sends the data to the LCD screen. This is code to display stuff on the LCD, by the way. All this, and then you now needed a lookup table with all the characters you needed, A, B, C, D, E, F, all the way to Z, and then also 0 to 9. And this was just for the project. I could have added more. I could have added the whole ASCII lookup table here, bro. I genuinely could have added the whole ASCII lookup table, bro. But for the project, for the sake of the project, our professor was kind of lenient with us, so we did A to Z space. I even had to do a space bar, bro. And then 0 to 9, which is kind of crazy. All of this just to display. I'm just saying, this language is pretty tedious. I can't lie. Like all this, I think, yeah. Like all this was just for like typing. I know it might sound complicated, but let me go check some of the let me go try check some of the easier ones. Yeah, so this was for I think it was just to make the LED blink. Obviously you could have done this with like a timer and an interrupt, but we didn't get to that point yet, and all of this was just to make the LED, like this was making the red LED blink, I believe twice, and then this was to make the green LED blink 3 times. So that was this was all I'm saying is like it's pretty tedious. Like if we're doing this on Arduino, it will just be, I believe it will be much simpler. I feel like, I'm not sure, but assembly just oh, it feels like horrible. And if you think this isn't bad, until we got to the final project, I think this was the final project. Yeah, this was the final project. Oh, all of this was a setup. Okay, so we're just setting up macros here. Most of this was actually done by the professor because nobody doing all this, bro. So these are all just like setups for like I think we used the SPI. We use UART. Never mind. Right? Yeah, we used UART for this. So it was basically a booster pack on an MSP 430, and then I did like a Pac-Man kind of game. So yeah, professor really made this like much easier for us, like much easier for us. So he did all like the setup, everything. He did like the macros that we could use. um I added all these because I wanted to use the LCD screen. You got to set up stuff, set up your ports, your uh set up ports, this is set up for the LCD, all this. And I think you needed a password for the LCD. I don't know what that was about. I don't know. Then you got to set up the UART, unlock the GPIO pins, and then set up the ADC 12, and then You set up everything. You set up the, I think, the TFT screen on the booster pack. All of this was for the setup, and then now you can now start writing. So if first of all it starts off with the black screen, and then I added some walls, top wall, bottom wall, right wall, left wall. Then you put your Pac-Man at the center. Now to put the Pac-Man, it was just terrible. So I had to like put like, I guess, variables. I can call them variables, but not actually variables. But I put variables, and then this will basically update the position based on the movement of the joystick. The booster pack had a joystick, and I guess you would set up an interrupt. Where's the interrupt? But yeah, you would set up an interrupt for the ADC, and if you like move left, I believe it would check for a border, and then it would add to. Oh wait, no. Oh, you're checking. Okay, you check which direction the joystick moved, and um this means it moved left. I think I don't remember. This was a while ago, but yeah, you had to set up a whole interrupt for the joystick. I've never used a joystick before, like with an Arduino, but I feel like it shouldn't take this many lines of code, because how just this section alone is like 681 to 76. That's almost 100 lines of code for just one section. And yes, it needs to be line by line like this, because um I don't remember. I think this is for the interrupt. So there's different events that could happen with the ADC, and you only want these two. Something along those lines. Let me know if what I'm saying is actually correct in the comments, because it's been a while since I did this. Basically, you only want these two interrupts, like these two events, and then if you what was it? Yeah, if these two are triggered, if anything outside of these two are triggered, it will just like stop the interrupt. Yeah, it will just, RTI means return interrupt or something, I think, and then it will just stop the interrupt. So you have to get these two. So it needs to be line by line. Yes, it needs to be line by line like this, or else it won't work. And then yeah, this is just like, you always have to add this at the end. It's just for your interrupts. So I had the port interrupt for buttons. Yeah, this was for buttons. You press this button, it does something. You press another button, it resets the screen, stuff like that. And then this was the actual code for the UART. This one was done by the professor. I kind of know what is happening, but I don't think I'm confident enough to explain it well. Like, most of this was just like a fuck around and find out class. Not gonna lie, like you would learn the basics in class, and then he would just throw you into the deep end with some project. But and it was just, oh my god. Overall, the class was kind of fun. We made some cool stuff. I don't think it was too. Oh my god, what is this? I don't think it was a crazy class. I passed the class with an A, so not to brag or anything, but like it was a pretty easy class. Nothing too crazy. But the whole coding aspect of it was like, I can't do this again. I probably can if I studied again, but I'd rather not. So I guess I'm gonna not take up any of y'all's time anymore. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the content, just give me a like and subscribe, please. And then I'll catch y'all in the next one.